Hi, this is Dr. Touch. In this video I want to give you a guided tour of the latest installment of GeoCorder, a simple app to record GPS tracks. There's a free version and a regular version, the only difference being that the free version has ads. If you start it, you get right into the record screen. I changed that from the previous version because there was the tracks view first and then you would have to add plus and go to the record screen. But since this is the GeoCorder, like recorder, this is the more important screen, so this is what you see first. Another thing that you have now in this version is you have the tabs at the bottom, because there is a bit of additional functionality that was added, and you just need to have this as a way to navigate there. And also I moved the recording controls to the top, because they are well, more prominent and they fit together better like that. The basic idea is, as soon as you start the app, you get core location updates. They can come from GPS, from cell tower triangulation or Wi-Fi positioning, giving you accuracy between a couple of meters and a couple of kilometers. And in the settings, you can specify what the desired accuracy and the distance filter is. These directly set the values of the location manager. So if you are, say, in a car, you don't care about meter accuracy, it might be sufficient for 100 meters or 10 meters. That might benefit your battery. Another thing that you can do, if you want to record static positions, meaning if you stand still, you would get a location update every second or every second. If they are the same, you might not want to record them, so usually you leave this off. But if you want to get the information of the standing still as well, then you can record this by putting this to on. Also, what you might want to do is have the GPX files that you export being compressed. And here's a help and support section where you get usage instructions about how to use all of that. And you can send me support emails if something is not clear. Now about the recording, you just press the record button and it's recording. Now, since I'm indoors and this is the simulator, I only get a signal when I restart the app. So let's quickly do that. It's now in background. So if I go back to it, there's a location event and that caused a track to be recorded here. The currently recording track has a red mark here. If you go to pause, you see it's now in paused. And alternatively, you can also continue recording into previous track just by specifying continue recording. So if I now hit the record again, it's now recording into this. So you can record all your location events into just one track for easy exporting. Pauses the current track, stops it. Difference being, if you start recording again, pause will continue and stop will cause a new track to be generated. Here on the map view, it's a bit slow in simulator. It gives you a centered map of your current location. It's more like a, well, to quickly look up where you are. Doesn't work that well in simulator. Also, it kind of blocks it a bit, unfortunately. That's much nicer on the device. And let me briefly tell you about the tracking functionality that I added. There's some customers of mine who are tracking building machines somewhere in Africa, and they had a location system that was using Nokia phones, so they wanted to change those to iPhone, and with the advent of version 4.0 you can have background location, which GeoCorder now supports. So it's now feasible to use the locations that you get from core location. Even if you're not recording, you get location updates. You can set up a URL that's basically your server, where you specify a a long equals, well, can name the parameter anything you like, but the variables that you can use is let, long, and speed. And you could, for example, add an end ID equals my iPhone, yeah. And then in your database, you would record these events and do whatever you like with that. There are two formats for sending the latitude and longitude. One has the decimal degrees, and then the minutes are 0 through 59 and fractions, or you have just the degrees in decimal. You want to set that up like it matches. And you can choose an update interval. You might only need it an hourly, or you might want it every minute. Depends on your needs. Let me just briefly mention the ads. The app like that costs $1. But if you don't want to spend $1, well, go for the free version. The free version has iAds where supported. So if you have an iOS 4 device, then you will get an iAd. If not, or if there's a timeout, might be because there's no ad available on iAd, get an AdMob ad. And this is actually a component that I'm also selling on my parts store. It's the DT Banner Manager. Because what this does is it allows you to have a banner here on top of the tab, and the app still fully functioning here. But if somebody taps on it, well, then sometimes you leave your app, sometimes you have a pop over. That's what finances the free version of the app. So apart from this, it's identical with the regular app. Let me show you what happens if you are actually then wanting to use one of those tracks. Say I choose it, I want to send it as email. It's chosen to be compressed, and this email, when you send it to yourself, will look like this. Unfortunately, my Exchange does this HTML stuff, but still, here's the GPX track that I just exported. Let me show you how you would look at that in Google Earth. You just launch Google Earth, which takes a second, and once you're there, you can just file, open on my desktop the track. Sorry, the right one. And it's now zooming into this track that I had previously recorded. And you see, the signal jumped, didn't record all the time. But where I was recording all the time, you have all these events. So that's how you look at these location events in Google Earth. There's also a couple of apps where you can use a track like that to update, say, position of blog posts or even photos. So there's a couple of use cases where you might need a GPX track. Another might be that you want to record GPS or collocation events in the wild to then use in your app for testing functionality like smoothing or something. That's what I originally built it for. Okay, there you have it. GeoCorder 110 or GeoCorder 111 free. Get it from the App Store.